If you scroll through my channel, you'll see that I have a somewhat unofficial series going on where I explain why people are wrong. For example, Dave Ramsey, he's wrong about credit cards, Warren Buffett gives terrible advice, Coupang CEO is lying to his investors, and Elon Musk is manipulating everyone. And continuing with that theme, I'm here to explain why dividends won't make you rich and how dividend channels like Joseph Carlson are misleading you. Now, before all you triggered dividend lovers dislike this video and leave me hate comments to read at 3 in the morning, let me rephrase. It's not that I hate dividends. It's more like I personally don't care or think about dividends when I pick what to invest in, and you shouldn't as well, because focusing solely on dividends to generate passive income is going to take a really long time unless you hit a few specific requirements. And the first requirement you need to know is that Joseph Carlson and other influencers peddling passive income videos are not the same as the majority of you consuming their contents. Here's what I mean. In his very first video, Joseph Carlson reveals his portfolio balance of $25,681.67 that he started in December of 2017. Fast forward to one of his more recent videos, which ironically is about how he makes passive income through dividends, we see that his portfolio is now nearing $300,000. So, is he a genius stock picker who grew his 25k portfolio into 300k, a 1,100% return in just 43 months? Of course not. Let's run some numbers, because out of his current portfolio value, $61,373.70 is gains, further broken down into market gains and earned dividends you can see right here, which means the remaining $236,742.81 is Joseph's own contribution to this passive income portfolio. But maybe this gain number is wrong, so let's be generous and say he only funded his portfolio $200,000. That still means Joseph was able to put aside $4,651.16 every month to fund his portfolio. And going back to his first video, when his portfolio was around $25,000, he was still able to set aside $1,500 a month to fund his dividend passive income portfolio. In comparison, my portfolio, it took 26 months to pass that $25,000 milestone last November with an average monthly contribution of $807. So, how was Joseph Carlson able to fund his portfolio so quickly? I mean, besides his YouTube income, which I'm sure is well above Social Blade's estimated $19,000 yearly earning, Joseph's active income prior to YouTube was as a programmer, where he made much more than Jeff Bezos' annual salary.
Jeff Bezos' salary, get this, his salary is $81,840. That's his salary, $81,000. I made more money than Jeff Bezos working as a programmer. That's what his salary was.
And while we won't know his exact number until he tells us, it's not far of a stretch to assume that he was able to make close to 6 figures during his time as a programmer. Meanwhile, for the far majority of his subscribers and people who first hear about dividend investing, their average salary would be closer to $51,168 a year or $4,264 a month pre-tax. To all this, you might say salary doesn't matter, because thanks to the wonders of compounding, someone who invests $100 even a week can still retire by dividend investing. And yeah, that's a fair point, so let's run the numbers again. This is Joseph's M1 Finance Pie from his most current video, showing us the 26 stocks he's currently invested in. But because we're focusing on dividends, we're here for this number, his portfolio's dividend yield. Right now it's 2.074%, which means with his $300,000 portfolio, he's going to make a clean $6,222 in dividends. Not too bad, but it's not even half of the 2021 federal poverty level. In order for Joseph to make this number in dividends, his portfolio needs to grow to $621,022 with his current yield. And to replace the average salary that we just mentioned with dividends, the portfolio has to be $2,467,117. And to replace the average salary of a programmer with dividends, $4.1 million. Now, if it's going to take Joseph $2.5 million for his dividends to replace the average US salary, how much longer will it take his average subscriber who has a median net worth below 100 grand? This is why I'm saying that dividends won't make you rich unless you're able to fund your portfolio aggressively, or you already have a big enough portfolio that's going to compound faster. I mean, we read articles like this one showing us how much Warren Buffett receives in dividends every year, which is $3.8 billion in total, with Apple alone paying him a mind-boggling $791 million in dividends. And we see these articles and we want in on the action, and we look through YouTube and we see videos after videos telling us how, oh, you can earn $1,000 a month in dividends fast. What these YouTubers don't tell you right away is even if you invested into dividend stocks that paid you a 5% yield, you still need a portfolio worth almost $250,000 to earn $1,000 a month in dividends. And I get it, the whole allure of passive income, making money while you sleep is enticing. And the whole FIRE movement we're seeing throughout social media is something even I can get behind. But if you're making an average salary who has just opened an investing account, focusing on dividends isn't going to get you where you want to be any faster. And to this, dividend investors will say that you have to reinvest your dividends. Reinvest. I thought the whole point of dividends was to live off them without touching the principal, but you're basically taking the dividend you receive and you're buying back the same dividend stock. And this is a main issue that I don't hear a lot of people talking about. Let's say you're an at&t shareholder, and when the dividend is declared, the share is currently trading at $25. And a $2 dividend is confirmed on the ex-dividend date, and because the share price drops by the amount of the dividend, the share price is now trading at $23. Finally, payout day comes almost a month later in August, but because of some wonderful news, at&t is now trading at $30, which means congrats, you're now buying the same share at a 20% premium compared to the original $25 share price. Not only that, don't forget that every time you get paid any dividend, you have to pay taxes on it unless you're investing it in a retirement account, which you can't even touch until you turn 39 and a half. So in this hypothetical at&t dividend situation, you're not only reinvesting the dividend at a higher stock price, but you're also paying a minimum 15% tax if your dividend is in a taxable account. So you see the issue here, or is it just me? Also, don't forget the fact that not all companies pay dividends, so you're excluding crazy profitable companies like Google, Facebook, Amazon, and yep, even Berkshire Hathaway. That's right, for all the articles that tell us how much Warren Buffett makes in dividends every year, the company he runs doesn't even pay out any dividend. Berkshire Hathaway, they did once pay out a 10-cent dividend in 1967, which Buffett later joked that he must have been in the bathroom when the decision was made. I mean, don't take my word for it. Here's Warren Buffett explaining why Berkshire Hathaway doesn't pay dividends.
In terms of not paying dividends, we don't pay dividends because we think we can turn every dollar we retain into more than a dollar of market value. I mean, the only reason for us to keep your money is if it becomes worth more by us keeping it than it would be worth if we gave it to you. And if we can create more than a dollar of market value for every dollar we keep, you're better off whether you want to take that dollar out by selling a little piece of your stock or whether you continue to leave it in. That's the test. If we come to the conclusion that we can't do that, and we could come to the conclusion sometime, then we should distribute it to you.
And sticking with Warren Buffett, there's a reason why he recommends that for most people, the best thing to do is to own an S&P 500 index fund. And yes, even though I have a very disliked video explaining why I think that advice is terrible, for the average person who doesn't want to keep track of their investments at all, it offers a far better return, even with its meager dividends, than buying a dividend ETF like Vanguard's VYM. But dividend investors also like to point out how dividends offer stability and consistent cash flow in a volatile market. Did we all forget how companies left and right reduced or cut their dividends entirely in the pandemic? And just because a company currently has a high dividend yield, it's not guaranteed. Look at any dividend portfolio and you're bound to find at&t that pays an attractive 7.39%. That makes up for its stagnant stock prices over the years. And in March, the at&t CEO went on CNBC to let everyone know that the dividend was safe and a cut wasn't needed to fund future growth. Fast forward 2 months, in May, they come out and announce a nearly 50% cut in their precious dividend in conjunction with their Warner Media deal. Just look at poor Jim over here. He sounds so betrayed.
What's your take on all of it?
If one more of these at&t people say that I'm not a trader, I find that just so what an ill-advised strategy to come on our network and say that after pretty much having a CEO come on not that long ago and stand by the dividend, told us that how would he is the dividend safe? What's going to happen? He said, well, the stock's going to go up and that the dividend will go down. You'll go down. No, they cut the dividend. And the way that they did it was completely suboptimal. And the people who are selling it are the long-term holders who feel very betrayed. What an insult to their shareholders. It's just an insult. Now, I'm sure they'll say, oh, Kramer, what a joke. I mean, but they're the joke. Where's the shame? They screwed up. I mean, why don't you say we screwed up? Why don't you say we paid too much? Why don't you say we said that the dividend was safe and we were wrong? Why don't they say that we're really sorry? How about sorry? Why don't they say that Randall Stevenson made a ton of money and he got out and we're going against everything he said? But they can't, because it's corporate America. It's corporate America.
And how about another example? Another dividend staple, Philip Morris, basically shocked everyone when the CEO said that cigarettes should be treated like gasoline cars and banned by 2030. And if you think that this won't affect PM's dividends, you're sorely mistaken. But regardless of everything I've said in this video, here's the beautiful part. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to listen to me, because in the end, how you invest, what strategy you use, and how much you buy and what you buy is entirely up to you. I just wanted to make this video because I saw so many comments under these dividend investing videos of people getting hoodwinked and getting tunnel vision into thinking that dividend investing is the best way to create wealth and passive income. I'm not even saying you should do what I'm doing. Like for me and my risk tolerance, I'm investing more in growth names and tech and consumer discretionaries, and my current allocation only gives me a dividend yield of 0.203%. And yes, while I choose to invest in companies like Apple that has a current low yield, but they do have a history of increasing their dividends. Same reason with Microsoft, and the same reason why I'm also investing in Visa. Because I'm only 30 and I have decades for my investments to grow, I'm more interested in capital appreciation first to get me to the 6 and 7 figures, while investing in companies like Apple and Visa that is going to grow into becoming the so-called dividend aristocrats. So, don't go chasing after high dividend yields or fall for dividend traps. Instead, use your weekly or monthly deposits to grow your portfolio naturally, because once again, unless you meet specific income requirements like Joseph Carlson, you're not going to get rich off of dividends right away. And don't let buzzwords like passive income, cash flow, or financial independence lock you into investing method too early. Look around, experiment, and find a good mix of stocks that's going to give you the benefit of capital appreciation, and yes, some dividends along the way. Or don't. It's your money after all. But if you want to become $50 richer guaranteed, check out the link in the description to earn some free cash when you join M1 Finance. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, but don't forget to leave me a nasty comment if you didn't. But with all that said, that's all I got for today, and I'll catch you next time with more financial shenanigans.